Hey everyone and welcome to the podcast. This podcast is an alpha and may be subject to change. Some members of the podcast may be kicked off during the podcast. You never know at this point. And joining me today, we have a full crew for once. Joining me to my right, we have, with his long, luscious locks, the Big T himself. Welcome to the show.
T-Bone.
The Big T-Bone. And then below me, we have the man back from the void. He often falls into it. We don't see him for months, but here he is. Zif himself. Welcome to the show.
Here I am. I've returned. I'll probably be in the void again soon. Don't worry.
And then joining me in the bottom right, he's got tape over his face. His cam isn't working because I don't know. I don't know how he messes it up, but it's all he's playing WoW.
What's new?
I mean, there's a lot new this week. It's gonna be a roller coaster of a show. But yeah,
wild.
Yeah. Before we get to that, I'll give you guys all a heads up. But first of all, we'll start with what everyone's been playing this week. So I feel like, I've not been playing any different. It's just Arc Age. I guess I played some Crusader Kings, which you could talk about, but Zif could talk about that as well. So, Tef, what about you? What have you been playing? I feel like you might have something you want to talk about.
Yeah, I know. You've not been playing Crusader Kings with Zif without me, have you? I thought we had something. No, I don't really care.
He messaged me just randomly.
I didn't think I'd be able to play now anyway. Zif, we still need to finish Halo 2. We're like 3 missions in. It's getting quite sad now. I don't even know what I've been playing, to be honest. I finished The Last of Us 2, which was going to be, I think, the main topic of this week, but then Gamergate 2 Electric Boogaloo happened, so I'm going to leave that discussion for another week.
Yeah, we'll get in.
I don't know, like P-Cross on the Switch, I was bored. And then Burnout Paradise, I bought that yesterday.
Oh, tell us all about Burnout Paradise.
No.
Take me down to the Parasite City.
Oh, don't. The game makes me hate that track, and I love Guns N' Roses, but it plays it every single time.
The grass is green and the microtransactions are pretty.
No, let's be real here. The ultimate track on that game is Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne, and I'll accept no other answers to that. No, I just got really, really angry when I bought it.
Isn't she with whatever his name is, the lead singer on Nickelback? Like whatever, I forgot his name.
About 10 years ago, I think. I don't know if she still is.
I think they're still together, married, aren't they?
I don't know. Maybe. I feel like they broke up. This is related to gaming, isn't it? Who cares about Avril Lavigne?
We do talk about video games on this podcast. That is what this podcast is about.
This podcast is an alpha and may become an Avril Lavigne fan cast at any moment. No, I just got angry when I bought it.
Gotta be renamed. This podcast is an Avril.
The Avril cast. Oh, we should do that though. I'd be good at that. I would talk about Avril Lavigne for a long time.
I would not know what I'm talking about.
He was a skater boy.
She said, "See you later, boy."
It wasn't good enough for her.
I am. What have you been playing this week? Do you want to talk about that?
Does anyone even care anymore?
Rant about Burnout Paradise. Okay.
Burnout Paradise, great game. It's like 10 years old, really good. It's £35 RRP. Don't buy it for that. Get it for like £7 when it's on offer, like everyone else.
How far are you into your license?
I only got it last night, so I've only got like the D class. Like, I've only played a couple of races, and then mostly just drove around, unlocking all the different races and that.
Just doing all the jumps.
Yeah, that's more fun than the actual racing. Let's be honest, because it's not a very good Burnout game, is it? It's quite a good racing game, but it's an awful Burnout game.
It was a Burnout game for the PSP. And I forgot what it was called.
That was the best one.
It was a really good Burnout game. I can't remember what it was called, but
Legends.
It was really fucking good. That was a Burnout Legends. It was so good.
That was the best one, I think, because that was basically just Burnout 3, which everyone says is the best one.
Smash into people's cars.
Yeah.
They just blow up.
It was the best. It was really good. Because with Paradise, it's just racing, isn't it? Really, there's no crash mode. Well, like there's sort of a crash mode, but it's not really the same because it's not carefully crafted so that you can smack into 12 buses. You're just doing it in the open world. It's not as much fun as it.
Yeah, crash mode is all I live for.
I can't really talk about Burnout. I feel like I haven't played enough of it. I played it like a little bit in the past, but I never really got into it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, this podcast isn't about you, is it? Especially since you don't know what a car is.
Hey. I've been in a car.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, you. I forgot why I even brought up Ben. I don't know. I was going to rant
You got-
about
yeah.
when I went to look up the DLC because there was all the DLC in the remastered version, and I didn't really understand what they brought in. Except I knew there was like another island they added in, which is tiny, by the way. It's like 5 streets. But like I was looking up what the other things were, and there's a page on EA's website about the DLCs that are added, and it's like, what do you get in the new fancy remastered Burnout Paradise? You get all the DLC except for the time saver pack because that was just a cheat code. And who even uses cheat codes these days? Now you can earn it yourself. It's like, fuck you, EA. The reason we don't have cheat codes is because you took them from us and put fucking time saver packs in all your games. And now they've got the cheek to be like, don't worry, guys, we took it out this time. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while
Sounds
now,
like
but
FIFA.
big AAA companies have just like, and publishers have just taken cheats and being like, let's paywall these, or just take them out of the game completely, and you can progress in other ways through all our lovely microtransactions.
Whatever happened to big head mode, man? Do you remember when every game had a big head mode?
Yeah.
Why was that a thing? Why did every game do
Why
that?
is it not a thing anymore? That's what I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I'd pay good money for that. I mean, I wouldn't actually, because that's what they want you to do. Big head mode, $7.99. The only time I've ever bought anything that should have been an unlockable or a DLC is when the Resident Evil 2 remake had the original soundtrack as DLC. It was like £3, and you got the original soundtrack, and the game is so much better with the original soundtrack. So I paid for that, but that should have been unlockable, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
You
a
know,
lot of that stuff should be. I
already
feel like it
paid like
takes away from the game.
£50.
Like, it takes something away from the game as well, because it's something you could earn, and that's like a little bit of progression in some sense that you could have in there, a little reward for doing something fun.
Yeah. Kills a bit of the charm.
We used to have a lot of incentive to like beat it and then beat it again and then even
Yeah,
beat it
like
again.
completionist bonuses.
Yeah.
A lot of those have been thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and Zif's right, it's especially strange for Resident Evil because it's a game that's designed to be speedrun, and they give you the faster you can
rocket
speedrun it,
launches and
the more
stuff.
rewards you get. So yeah, why they take anything away from that, I don't know. But
Like,
there
why
you
is the
go.
new outfit DLC? That should be like the Mafia outfit from 4 that you unlock.
Yeah,
Weird.
I don't know.
pretty weird.
It's not weird.
What have you
It's,
been playing, Zif? Without me.
Well, as Zam knows, I've been back on CK2. In fact, I've pretty much all I've done is just come back to Grand Strategy. Because I can never truly get away from it. It always pulls me back in.
Yeah.
I started out with Hearts of Iron 4. I was playing the Fallout mod a lot. Which is that's a very good mod. And then I randomly asked Zan, I was like, hey, CK2, because you mentioned it. And we should play it, and it's a good game.
You messed
And
me
we
at a
played the
random
Witcher
time. I
mod.
just want to clarify, just a random time, so there was no time to invite other people who I would have liked to invite. Because it
That's
wasn't
okay, man.
organised.
Don't worry about it.
We
Go back
played
to
the
classic WoW.
Witcher mod. It's very fun. And
No comment.
Oh yeah, the Witcher mod was a lot of fun. I've been now listening to the Witcher Netflix soundtrack again because I'm just like, it took me
Toss
back.
a coin to your Witcher.
You know what? It's not like everyone's sleeping on the other one, like Her Sweet Kiss. Such a good one as well. And
Yeah, that
I've been going
plays
back
a
and
lot
listening
as
to that one. Oh, that's a good one. Zol probably doesn't even know what I'm talking about. He's just like shooting people, steady shooting people.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah. I'm just steady champion, to be fair.
All right, go on, Zif. I'll let you continue.
I mean, that is pretty much it. I mean, there's some great stuff happening in that game, like you becoming a sorcerer somehow. Don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what you did.
I somehow became a sorceress, and then I'm now immortal and also part of a cult. It's pretty great.
You
Amazing.
seem to just break that game, and I'm not sure how, but you seem to manage to do it. But I also played some solo games and found some pretty great events. I had an event where I was getting destroyed, my army was nearly dead, and my cat got shot, and I went into a moment of rage, killed the enemy commander, and won the battle. And the cat lived, so it's all good. And
You can't got shot and lit. That's just that. I mean, 9
don't worry
lives.
about it. It got shot by an arrow. One event was just like I can scream no and it dies, and the other one was going 1v1 the guy, and somehow it survived. So
Oh, I mean, you were left with no option there. You're backed into a corner.
I mean,
Full
pretty much.
John work.
And then also another great event where
Oh.
I started speaking to some pagan person, and they helped me drink a potion, and my spirit left my body and became a new baby or something, and I basically became immortal and just I don't even know. I don't know what was happening. That game's gone very crazy.
Yeah, lots changed since I've played. My
Yeah.
God.
Well, on the note of revenge, I think Tef might have missed one of the games that he's been playing. We'll swing back around to. But we might want to
The Last of
discuss.
Us.
Yeah,
I did mention that.
we
But
did mention. We didn't.
Yeah, it's a lot to talk about.
I
I've
think we
already
could talk
I
about
spoke
it.
a lot about it last week.
Okay, I'm just saying if you want to talk
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
ending.
right. Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but I have finished it now, and I don't understand why everyone's angry with the ending. Honestly, it's one of those unsatisfying endings where it doesn't give you what it's building up to all the way through. But if it had done that, it would.
I think that
The
last
fact that
section
people are
drags the
angry
game
about
out a bit. Is what my issue with it is. I feel like it drags unnecessarily.
Ah, no, I don't agree. I actually think the ending elevated the rest of it. I wasn't that bothered about the
Do
game
you
until I
see
got
what I
to
mean
the
about
ending.
how it felt like the last season of Breaking Bad when you get to that ending in a way? Oh, did we lose Tef? Oh, no, he's back.
I lost you guys for a second. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think the pacing was that bad, honestly. It is a long game. I'm not quite sure it had to be that long, but they did
No, it didn't.
the best they could with the pacing. It doesn't feel like it drags on too much, I don't think.
I think it could have been a really good story. I just think the structure was all over the place and it dragged. I feel like that last section just was a drag.
Yeah, the structure is weird, definitely. Like they hold certain story events back for God knows what reason. Like they just sprinkle those flashbacks through the whole story in seemingly totally random order.
I feel like the flashback they give you at the end is how people want, like that's what people wanted this game to be. That's what they wanted the ending of the game to be. They wanted that resolution. But they just sprinkled it in at the end as a little flashback. Be like, there you go, there it is.
It's just weird how that final flashback. If I feel like if they put that at the start, if that was the opening of the game instead of the ending, then it would have grounded everyone's expectations on what the story was going to be about. But they put it at the end instead, so you go through the whole game not really enjoying it because you're not really understanding what it's trying to make you think, and then you get to the end and it gives you that flashback, which should have been the first thing it gave you because chronologically it's the first thing that happens anyway. And then you're like, oh, okay, I sort of see what's going on now. But why did they leave it to the end? It doesn't have the dramatic effect they think it does. They should have just put it at the start.
I personally, I think the other character should have, like, her backstory should have been the start of the game. I think that's how they should have opened it. Because then they could have went into...
Yeah, that could work too, definitely, yeah.
Because... my problem with Abby's is, like, her story, it likes to rub it in your face. Like, the animals especially, they like to rub that in your face a lot.
I think... Eventually, I actually like Abby's story more than Ellie's. I really don't like what they've done to Ellie in the second. Like Last of Us 2, she's such a boring character. They just took everything. That was
all she does is swear, and just
she's like nothing but anger, and that she used to be like so funny, and they've just ruined her character. And
like
by the end,
Lev was the best character in the game, I think.
Yeah. When I say I like Abby more, it's basically just because Lev was there.
Yeah.
Lev made Abby's story better.
So, I mean, that's all we can really say on it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. It's still a fairly new game.
Yeah, because I would like to pick it up at some point as well, since it does sound better than I expected to be.
The guitar is the best character in the game.
I'll say the same thing that I said about I'd recommend it anyway for the same reason I'd recommend the first game, because I thought the story of the first game was a bit overblown, but put it on hard mode. And it's just a really good survival game, so play it for that. Yeah. If you're not going to play it for the story.
I think the gameplay definitely looks better in this game than it did in the previous. I can say that. But it
basically
also
the same, but the AI is a lot smarter.
Yeah, it looks like they've added like a bit more to it. But it's just, again, I think the problem is the structure, and it drags. You know, if they didn't drag so much, maybe they wouldn't have to crunch. Putting that out there.
Probably shouldn't be 30 hours long either.
Yeah. Like, it is ridiculously long.
That's twice the length of your average Naughty Dog. Yeah.
They were some of the best bits, though. Like, Ellie would just comment and stuff, and it was great. They were easily some of the best parts.
But it's not even that. There's not that many quiet moments like that. There's just a hell of a lot of trudging through zombie encounters. Some of the zombie levels go on too long, I think. Especially because the zombies aren't even that good, honestly. Like, it's more fun fighting the human enemies because they're so smart in the second game. They are so clever and they're so good at flanking. And they're really, really clever about how they approach you. And then the zombies just kind of wander around in circles until you stop them in the back of the head. So
I'll say Abby's sections are a lot cooler because it's got a lot more of a horror theme to it. It's got a lot more of that going on than Ellie's. So
it's funny. She's got like heavier artillery and she's all massive and butch and just like snaps zombies' necks with her huge arms.
She like
somehow
she's got bashes more of a horror the head in with a fist. Yeah. She's it's insane.
And Ellie like stabs the zombies to death when you stealth kill them, but Abby just puts them like in her huge arms like there and just goes and just snaps their necks with her huge arms. Which in
a zombie scenario doesn't seem like a good idea. Just in case.
I mean, yeah, because if Ellie did that, then fine. But why? Yeah, Abby shouldn't be doing it.
But she does just deck zombies and puts her fist right through their face and they just go down. That's it.
I will say one thing about the ending, actually, that was really weird. It's weird how in the final act, which is really, really short, you're saying it was dragging out, which I wasn't understanding. I thought the final act was
I think it does
really short.
I don't think it needed that much, though.
Well, they introduce an entirely new faction, though.
They do.
And then they get no backstory because they're just there
generic
for this
bad
short
guys.
final act, and they're like, well, they're not generic bad guys. They put effort into making them a little bit different from just kind of standard bandits, but then they don't get enough of backstory.
They're basically the Nazis from the end of Breaking Bad. The neo-Nazis, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like they wrote more of a backstory for those guys, but there wasn't any time to actually show that to us. I feel like there is depth there, but you just don't get any time with them. They just show up and you fight them like literally once, and then like it's weird. They put all this time and effort and crunch into creating an entirely different faction for one level. It's so stupid.
I don't think they needed that much gameplay in that last level either. I think they could have.
No, there really isn't.
I think they could have skimmed through it even more though. Like it could have been so short.
You gonna say something, Zif?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because you mentioned that they brought this faction in and they're barely used. I was just thinking, do you think they're gonna do a DLC like the big one they did for the first game?
No,
they said they weren't gonna do any DLC.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, that last bit could have been a DLC if they really wanted to. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's just because the end of the game takes place. I mean, slight spoiler, it takes place outside of Seattle, where the rest of the game takes place in one spot. The end of the game takes place elsewhere, so they suddenly, I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner where they had to make a new faction for this new area, in order for there to be bad guys for that final act. But then they're there for one level. You fight them.
All the main characters could learn the lesson before that.
Yeah. It's a weird game. I kind of have very mixed feelings on it.
I think most of the internet does. To be fair, but yeah, I think that's the last one. There's not really much more we can say. I know without like going in depth and spoilers and stuff, and we don't want to do that. But
sorry, Zolt, you're feeling left out there because we're not talking about
I thought my mic was muted, but apparently I unmuted it.
Zolt, what are you been playing this week?
Last of Us.
I mean, there's no change with me. There's just no. I've been playing far too much World of Warcraft. I'm an unhealthy amount. What's the
about you on that game?
I mean, I made my.
He's got 2 accounts.
Yeah. I made I made my hunter about 5 or 6 days ago. I have 3 days, 13 hours, 17 minutes, 28 seconds played on him. So you know, it's going well. I'm addicted to the game. But to be fair, I did actually play Minecraft because the new update's out, and I was really curious what it was like for the Nether.
We do need to play that.
And I mean, the server's up, so if you can hop on whenever you want. The Nether update that they've made that game is phenomenal. It's so good. The Nether's actually useful. There's like new ores and shit. It's really good. I mean, there's not much to really talk about on it. Obviously, it's just Minecraft, but that's all I've done really. Just getting ready for some alt raids in World of Warcraft.
All right. Well, I mean, no surprise there. Did we miss anything with Zif before we moved on to the last of us, or is that it? Just your grand strategies.
That was. I can't think of anything else. I'm pretty sure that's it. Just CK and Heart of Iron is all I've had time to sort of dip into.
All right, just wanted to loop background just in case.
I will double check. I'm pretty sure that is I mean, I was playing Civ a few weeks ago, but not very recently. The only different thing is I finally wanted to get back to a second playthrough of Witcher. I started playing that a bit last night.
Been very Witcher themed for you lately.
I mean, it has, because we played CK and it's just like, I really want to play 3 because I still haven't done a second playthrough and I haven't done the final expansion either.
To be fair, I've not even done one playthrough of that game and I'm looking forward to it because I will get around to it at some point.
Yeah, same.
So
I've not played any Witcher game.
Oh.
Actually, that's not true. I played the first Witcher game.
Okay, well, the first one's not a good one to go on.
Yeah, no, the first one's just like a weird expansion to Neverwinter Nights, basically. I was like, that's not what I expected, but yeah.
If I can get my Pro Controller to work from a Switch on my laptop, then yeah, I'll probably dip into it at some point.
Yeah, it's a good time. I definitely recommend both of you start on 2, to be honest, because it's overlooked, but 2 is a very good game.
Yeah.
I always think that's bizarre, that, because when 2 was the latest Witcher game, it was considered the biggest and best PC game of all time, and now that 3 is out, it's like 2 never existed. No one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, like, I think 2, like, when it first came out, it was like, not a lot of people jumped on it right away. It took a little while before it picked up the traction, and then it was like, everyone was like, this is like a masterpiece. And then 3 came around, and like, I think 3 picked up an even bigger audience than 2 did. And then all the new people that came in with 3 had no clue about the other games because you didn't need to play the other games.
Really good.
Yeah,
and,
2. 2 hours.
I think when 2 really hit it is when it got its Game of the Year edition. I think it got fixes and graphical and slight improvement. It got something, but I think it got a bunch of fixes and stuff. I think that's when it starts to get more attention.
Hold on, real quick. When I just turn up your volume, Zif, which may look really weird on stream. Don't worry about
Witcher
guys.
2 is £2.24, isn't it?
Is it?
There you go.
The Witcher 2 has been fairly cheap. It's been free once or twice, I think, as well. I could be wrong.
Pick up 2 and 3 for £10.
That's a bargain.
Steal.
Yeah.
Might do that, you know.
Is that 3 like Game of the Year with its expansions?
No, it's base.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be Game of the Year.
Game of the Year is £10.49. I mean, I can pick it up.
Yeah.
The expansion. I've only played the first one, but
I've not played
the
either.
writing in it is a million times better than the sort of end of the first base game. The
Which
villain is like a million times better.
Yeah, which is weird because I mean I feel like the writing in The Witcher was really good anyway. Like you had the whole Baron storyline was like really good. Yeah.
My main thing is Eridan, but the guy from that's like first expansion is just phenomenal. Honestly, I haven't played the final expansion, but I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the main villain of the Witcher 3, it was like that's a hard character to give like a personality.
There's a lot of build up as well. It's hard. It's kind of easy to ruin it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. But yeah, that's all I've been playing anyway.
But yeah, I guess if that's what everyone's been playing, we have to move on to the news, which
Electric Boogaloo.
All right, let me just change the category to news. So, before we get into this, I do want to just let everyone know that the subject matters that we're going to go over are going to be you know, pretty upsetting and probably uncomfortable for a lot of people. We're going to be talking about all the, you know, sexual harassment and stuff that's been going on in the industry, and I think for a lot of people it's been, you know, just awful to see, and sadly in some forms it's not even shocking to know that a lot of this is going on in the industry. And that's not to say that, you know, it's not innocent until proven guilty, but that's a given with everything going on. So we're going to be talking about a lot of this. We'll go like into each of the subjects, but you know, we're not going to be talking too deep. We'll probably talk on it as like a general sort of thing. I know Zolt wants to really talk a lot on the method situation that's going on right now. But yeah, just a warning for everyone before we get into this. That was a good way of doing it, right, guys? We okay?
No, that was spot on, to be fair.
We're getting cancelled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we'll get cancelled. One more thing, obviously, though, is that everything that we do talk about, we've seen on the internet, and I mean, some are obviously reliable sources, but we don't know how true that all of the statements are.
I mean,
so you're gonna have to take with a pinch of salt until it, like, legal action's being advised, I suppose, and if it ever comes public.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot we don't know, and like I said, innocent until proven guilty is a given.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of these people are brave for coming out and deserve the support again. So.
Oh yeah, well, no question. I'm glad it's all coming out. As much of a shit show it is, I'm so fucking happy. Like I support it so much with how much people like getting pulled about it.
Yeah, and like it's awful to see, but it's also good that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're unfortunately in an industry where stuff like this has run rampant for a long time. I mean, it was only 2012. You had like in conventions they had like booth babes, and you'd have like the executives and the business people walking around in suits during those events and stuff like that, where there'd be all kinds of stuff like that going on. And that was kind of the norm, unfortunately. But yeah, the industry's a mess. That's what I titled this for everyone in the news topics.
I mean, it's the perfect title.
Shall we start off with talking about, Chris Avalon was one of the big ones that recently came out. Would anyone like to open up? Because I feel like I'm talking a lot right here.
I mean, I don't know personally. I don't know too much about Chris Avalon.
Who done their homework? Hands up.
I read it. But the only thing that I've really gathered from it is that, the statements that I've came out from, I think her name was Carissa. Am I pronouncing that right? I think I am. Anyway, as she just came out with a couple of statements on it, which is obviously being investigated. But Chris Avalon has, at the moment, came out with no formal no formal statements or anything. As far as I'm aware, everything's just been over Twitter. So it's obviously he's not going to be overlooking it because it's massive, but he's probably just seeking legal advice. So at the moment, it's kind of up in the air with him. But from the statements, it sounds very, very believable. Again, I don't know anything about him though, so I haven't really got much of an input.
So I know a fair bit about him anyway because I'm into his RPGs or a few of them anyway. But I didn't know anything about him. Yeah, I didn't know anything about him personally. To be fair, I just knew that he was a fairly good RPG writer. But I did see the tweets from Carissa when they came out, and she basically said that she got really, really drunk, and basically the only thing that stopped him from doing anything towards her was the fact that she was so drunk that she was vomiting everywhere, and she thinks she got off kind of lightly in a way because of just how drunk she was, which is just horrible. But what's particularly concerning about that is that after she said those things, all of a sudden there was a lot of other people who had very similar stories coming forward, and it's not just one person's story. So it's brought out a lot of people who said similar things about him, and that's more concerning.
I think this started with, I think it was the Destiny community. I believe a lot of accusations came out of, and then a lot of people have jumped around there. And I know this has been a thing that's spread into the wrestling community. I think it has had a lot of this as well. So,
yeah, actually, that's a shelter. I haven't read into too much of that, but apparently it's really big in the wrestling community as well. But that kind of things happened.
Yeah. So obviously we just there's not much we can say on individual stuff, but there's also been Ubisoft and Insomniac that have.
I say let them go at it.
Dealing with a lot of crimes.
More people get I say the more allegations. Well, you can call them allegations, but obviously innocent until proven guilty, blah blah blah. But the more people that come forward, the better in the long run, because it means the less people are getting away with it. This thing stops.
Yeah, I think what is, I don't know if this is just me being cynical, but the fact that Ubisoft and Insomniac are only doing the investigations now that they've been caught red-handed, that, oh no, this is happening. I feel like these companies know this stuff happens, and obviously if it's an executive level, they're just oh, we'll leave it be. We don't need to, it's something they don't deal with, they don't bother doing until they're caught, and then they're oh, we'll investigate it, guys, don't worry, we're a good company. I honestly don't believe a lot of these are remorseful about it. I feel like they're just oh,
they're sorry they got caught.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I saw your boy Jason Schreier. He I saw on Twitter is when this first broke about Ubisoft, saying that they were going to start looking into it properly and auditing things and changing their processes and all that. He reached out to some Ubisoft employees and basically asking them, "Do you feel like they're supporting you now?" And he said every single person who responded said, "No, they're just doing it to look good. It's just a PR thing. We don't feel like they're actually going to change anything at all."
I mean, there's been claims of stuff like this in so many other companies as well, and especially in our industry. Like Riot had it before. I know Naughty Dog had claims of it as well at one point. I don't know if there's been I don't know if there's been investigations on these ones. I assume there was at the time, because obviously it was reported on. So I'd assume so. But I honestly feel like the whole industry needs like external investigations into a lot of the stuff going on.
Massive kick up the arse. That's what it needs. I mean, to be fair, it needs a wake-up call, but this seems to be the wake-up call that's needed.
I mean, hopefully, but
Oh my god, yeah, fingers crossed.
But I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these are just gonna be like, they'll wait for everything to pass, and they'll do the investigations now, but the next like year or so, once no one's tweeting about it, we'll just go back to usual. I feel like.
Yep.
Yeah, they did suspend a few like top level executives over
Ubisoft,
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
But either they'll come back once it's blown over and no one's paying attention, or they'll get a golden handshake and they'll probably just go to another big publisher.
They'll just go to another big. CEOs do this all the time, and executives, they all just swap around different companies, just play hot potato with what company they're in.
Like the Xbox One presenter.
Yeah, well, he went to Zynga. That was a sinking ship, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don Matrick, the man, the myth, the legend. Bring him back for the Xbox Series X. That's what I say.
Yeah.
We need more Hulu apps on our Xboxes.
But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of this going on in the industry, and I know Twitch itself has also had a lot of bans regarding the stuff that's been going around, and there's been a lot more accusations regarding Twitch streamers. But I think one of the biggest ones is, I mean, actually there was an organization that manages a lot of streamers, like, is gone now at this point. Like, all of the streamers dropped out from it. I actually didn't put them in the OPG group, OP Sun group. It was something, I forget the name of it. But
oh yeah, I read about this.
Yeah, because there was like, I know Dodger and Strippin were part of it, and that's Carnage was part of it as well. That's where I saw a lot of.
Seen Strippin, sweet about it, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, like the guy was involved in a lot of stuff there. It's been like widespread throughout the industry, but also another organization that, I mean, is taking a huge hit from this is Method, which I know Zolt really wants to talk about. So, you want to take that away, Zolt?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the reason why it's like big for me personally, because I like Method, I like their guild, I like what they do in World of Warcraft specifically. I mean, they are big in other games, but not as big as they are in the World of Warcraft community. I mean, I'll say the guy's name because you can do your own research. But I mean, if you type in Method, you'll see it. But his name's Josh, pretty much. He's one of the healers for that guild. It literally started about 2 years ago. I think it was like early 2018. It's like this clip floating around. I mean, again, this is all obviously from the internet. There's no like factual evidence.
You don't need to say that every time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to get cancelled. Don't want to get cancelled. So it's like and in a nutshell, what it was is that Josh from day one of streaming and like doing any form of content creation has just been weird and very open about being weird. And by weird, I mean I recall watching a stream of his, and he was essentially like just showing off that he was talking to girls, like, oh, like this one's coming to mind, blah blah blah, and then he'll scroll a little bit too far, but it's on purpose. And I actually remember what he said and the pitch. So I actually remember specifically what he said to her, but it was along the lines of like, you need to come visit me, I'm very attractive, blah blah blah. And then she was like, no, and then he sent her a picture of him holding a knife, and she's like, come, otherwise I'll do it. Like shit like that. Like, he's just a fucking weird guy. Everything about him just screams just he shouldn't stream. He shouldn't be on the platform.
I mean, wasn't he banned from Twitch a while ago?
He did get banned from Twitch, and it was because of this kind of behavior that got him banned, because it was over allegations, everything. That's why I'm saying, like, a lot of these allegations have been public knowledge for 2 years, and that's why Method took a massive hit because of it. Because obviously, when it comes to legal investigations or anything, which I'll get to in a moment, you are locked behind you're locked behind legality of what you can and can't say to the public, because it's private it's private at the end of the day. It's an investigation. But because a lot of it was public knowledge, that's why that's why the organization is getting such a hit, because it's already been known. So it's from the very start. It was essentially started with his Discord DMs and how open he was about being a weird, just a weird person in general. But then there was a lot of clips of allegations and people coming out with things, and this was a couple of years ago. And then I want to specifically talk about one other content creator because he's been affected personally by this quite hard. His name is Preach Gaming. He's a fantastic content creator. He's very close to World of Warcraft devs. He always gets interviews with them. He's phenomenal, and he's also a critique as well, which is crazy for that. The devs will be in an interview with a critique. But the reason why he was affected by this so much was because he is one of the few people who would go to methods and management, and he's always been vocal about this. He will question everything about everyone. He just that's just what he does. So he questioned with the management of Method, Sko included, who's the original founder and guild manager of Method. He's also, I'm pretty sure he's still the top dog kind of thing of the company. But he'd spoken to him directly, asking what's going on with Josh, because this is something that needs to be looked into. And it was basically brushed off oh yeah, don't worry about it, there's an investigation on, it is what it is, it's fine, you've got nothing to worry about. So he thought, oh okay, trusty sources that that his friends, blah blah blah. So then he's like, okay, yeah, that's fine, blah blah blah. Then he goes to a world first race where Josh actually is, who's this potential predator because it was with minors, and he brings his kids to that event. So Method, knowing full well that this investigation had no progress because apparently there was not enough evidence, when there clearly is, to put the man behind jail. There just clearly is. It's retarded that he's not in jail. Method have protected the predator whilst people's kids who they work with, he's a contractor at that time for them, are at the event. And I think it's absolutely retarded that they've allowed that to happen. And that's why that's one of the reasons why they've had so much backlash on it, because it's morally wrong. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's so retarded.
Legally, I think there was something about them legally not being able to discuss it, but
yeah,
obviously, ethically, they should have been telling contractors and people that are actually working for them and coming,
or
especially ones that have kids. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm specifically saying that. And again, I keep referring to legal because obviously, if they're locked behind some form of legality and they can't talk about it, then there's nothing anyone in the world can do about that. That's just how it is. But the funny thing about it was that Josh has always been very vocal about it to his management as well. So he told Sko directly, who's Scott McMillan, I think his name is, something like that. He's told him directly. He was the one who told him that, hey, look, there's an investigation going on. This has happened, blah blah blah. I'm denying it all because it's not true. It's been taken out of context, blah blah blah. And he's been friends with this guy for years. So obviously, as friends do, he took his word. Now, normally I'd agree with it, but when you've got you've got your own organisation, you need to look into it a little bit as well, which was never done. It just was not.
They should have done their own internal investigation alongside it. Is what they should have done.
Exactly. Or at the very least, what they could have done is if they wanted them to still be there, because you don't want to just crucify them on allegations, which I agree with, because as you said, they'll get innocent until proven guilty. They should have just been like, okay, well, you can still raid, you can still do the world first races and stuff, but you're doing it from home. You're not coming to the event. That'd be okay, well, fair enough. That it is what it is, kind of thing. He also told them that the investigation was over and nothing came of it, so they took his word for it again, which just turned out to pretty much be bullshit, because the investigation was over, yes, but it was over because there wasn't enough evidence. But again, there clearly is, and I want to finish off my talk about this is with what Asmongold said, and I know Zan's already heard me say it, and Zan's watched a couple of podcasts with him, because it just made me laugh.
I've heard you say this several times.
Yeah, it's great. I don't know why, but I love it because it's so it's just true. It's at one point so if everyone can see a duck and it quacks like a duck, it lives like a duck, and everyone can clearly see that this thing is a duck, at what point does it become a duck? There's that much evidence out there. Why isn't the man behind bars?
But yeah, I mean, I think honestly it was just a very poorly managed and handled thing, and now Method's kind of fallen apart over it. The Method is done. I
mean, as I said, I made a short list of content creators who I personally seen, just scrolling down here and there. who have actually already left the organization. You've got some massive names as well, like huge names, like obviously Preach, but he was never working with them. He denied a contract with them recently as well. I think he's just an independent organization.
Yeah,
he has his
no
own
one will
funds and
work with
stuff.
them.
So he's left. NMP LOL, who, I mean, I don't know whether you guys will know, but he's really big in the WoW community. Payo. You've got S-Fan, which is a massive L
S-Fan's
for
big.
that's
Yeah.
massive. That's huge. You have Payo and you have Sea-Doo. Now Sea-Doo is a PvP legend in World of Warcraft. Now for him to step down from them, that's big as well, because his competitive team that he plays for is Method, and he has played for them for many years. Many years. I mean, he'll get by fine. He's a streamer, a very popular streamer as well. And then even Sko's own girlfriend has actually left the organization because she also feels the same way as everybody else. Which, I mean, fair enough. It is what it is. She's just a contractor. She's not part of management. She's getting a lot of hate because apparently she knew everything behind the scenes, which is completely untrue. Like, that's what she's came across with anyway.
I did want to ask about that actually, Zolt, since you're the expert on this, with this kind of mass exodus that's going on of all these like streamers leaving, and Corsa, even Corsa, like the sponsor jumping ship, pun fully intended.
Wowhead, Wowhead got rid of them as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like, do you think had they had Method owned up to the issue and dealt with it when it first came about, instead of defending him when Twitch had left, you think they would have been able to keep the guild together?
Yeah, without doubt.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question. They have got such a loyal, like, they had, obviously not no more, but they had such like a loyal, like, a community fan base, contractors, everybody just loved them. Like, I remember when Classic WoW first dropped, they signed the biggest World of Warcraft streamers. No one else could get them. Everyone was like, listen, they've got like a legacy. We need to join this org. Like, this is good. It's good for everyone. It's a win-win all around the clock. So if they would have just been like, right, listen, bam, even like what I said, like the welfare races and stuff, you should not have a guy who's a potential predator at that point, and there's an investigation going on. From their standpoint, they should not have him at that welfare race. And by welfare, I mean like the welfare raid, whatever raid comes out, who can clear it the fastest. That's what I mean by welfare.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have that. Like, they shouldn't have him there at all. It's stupid that he's there. It's pathetic, and it's really morally wrong. It's disgusting, and that's why they've had a lot of backlash.
The biggest issue was they didn't do their own internal investigation. This wasn't something they handled. They waited for it all to come out, and that's when they've like went on it. And then because of this has come out, and obviously Method have known about it for a long time and have not actually dealt with it. That's why a lot of people are dropping them. Like Wowhead dropping them was like, that's massive, because if Wowhead's dropping them, like huge. That's it. Like, and then all the members were dropping out as well. There's
so many people who have left.
I believe
there's
Wowhead said the only way they will ever even remotely associate with them is if the whole of the executive management is gone. If it needs to be changed, it needs to be completely different, and that's like a really, I think,
that's something that just probably will not happen, honestly. But to an extent, I actually agree, because at that point they're an entirely different company. At that point, if all the managements have changed, it's ran different.
Like, if they want to survive, they have to they would have to rebrand and rename. They'd have to be something completely else before anyone even wants to be associated with them at this point.
Yeah.
It's scary, isn't it, that this all happened as well in like a post-Weinstein world. Like, Weinstein happened when this all first kicked off, and it happened a year before all this kicked off, and
it's better late than never at the same time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we obviously haven't learnt anything, had we? And I think maybe the games industry will get that kick up the arse now. I have actually seen some people saying that this is the Weinstein effect finally hitting the games industry with what's happened this week, and hopefully it is, because we've clearly they hadn't learned anything back then, and the fact that people were pulling the exact same stunts, protecting their friends at the highest levels.
Exactly.
It's sadly not shocking either, though, is it? It's like not surprising for our industry.
I was going to touch on that as well, because you said it when you first opened the stream with your little speech. You said that it was sadly not shocking, and it's not. It's sadly not shocking. I mean, obviously everybody knows that this kind of thing happens, but the amount of people that are like coming forth and like talking about it's phenomenal. Like, props to them. I really props to them though.
Yeah.
Like, it takes some guts.
Like, I mean, if we're talking about Go on, Zif. I'll let you talk.
I was just gonna say, it just takes that first person to come forward, and then it, like Zolt was saying, is just dominoes. Loads of people get the confidence, and it just all people from loads of different places start falling.
I clap to them all. I'm happy that it is. I mean, I'm hoping that all the allegations that have came out. I mean, I don't hope they're true, but I hope if they are true, actions are taken accordingly. But for anyone who's making false allegations, which I know there's a lot of those coming around, I mean, that just
to anyone that weaponizes this movement, like they
fuck you, basically.
Yeah.
Say it how it is. I don't care.
Simply,
crucify them. Just crucify them, because you're even if it comes out to be false and the damage is already dealt, you just why are you such a retard, you incels? Like, it's so stupid. Like, I know that's a thing. Like,
weaponizing it, obviously, like, what is a terrible thing, and what it does is it will, like, not only does it destroy, it can destroy someone's career, but it'll also, like, demean everyone else's messages coming out, and, like, it'll, you know, stop people from actually putting it out, because they'll be worried that people are just going to dismiss their own
brush it off,
stories.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's definitely, it's in the minority, but
it's in the minority, but I feel like I am a very, very firm believer in innocence until proven guilty.
I think that's a given for the situation. I don't think it needs to be said, but
But for the false allegations, in my eyes, honestly, for a false allegation, you weaponizing something, you're just as bad as someone who's actually done it. You're, like, on par. That's how bad it is. You destroy someone's career, and you don't know what you want to do to that person. I think it's stupid. It's disgusting.
Not just their career, their life. It just marks you for
yeah.
years, or even your whole life.
Yeah, it will be. You won't be able, like, you'll get death threats and shit. Like, the internet's a sad place when it comes to, like, hate. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, speaking of losing your livelihood, we've not spoken about The Good Doctor yet.
I mean, should we talk about Twitch? And we could, yeah. So, I mean, Dr. Disrespect got banned on Twitch, which, like, the timing of it is not, like, great. It doesn't look good for him, especially since there's been silence all across. Like, no one will speak on this. There's not even been a leak, which is crazy, because this is not a ban that came from the team that bans people. This is above from what we've been told.
This is huge.
Yeah, like, he's not just banned, he's just purged from the platform completely.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's on the platform, according to some sources. I know Slasher tweeted about it. He was like, he's done.
That's
they were like, he's done. Like, for someone to say, like, he's done, and, like, mean
I don't think Slasher said he was done. I think it was someone else. No, I think he retweeted someone saying that. Slasher did report a lot on it, but he didn't say, he wasn't the one who said he's done.
Okay.
He said it was a sensitive topic, so he didn't really want to touch it. Whatever that means is, like,
it's probably a legal topic that he can't talk about.
Obviously, it's legal. There's going to be lawyers involved, and that's why everyone's being so tight-lipped. Whatever it is.
The one thing that I'd love to write off is, obviously, like, I hope he's not done any form of, like, sexual, assault or anything like that. I mean, at the time and again, it's just uncanny with it.
Yeah,
that's the thing, like, isn't it?
But we can't assume. We can't assume based on that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's something that I'd love to just be able to write off, because it's just something that you'd never consider, like, a thing with anyone. But obviously, with what's going on, you don't consider it with anyone.
You never want to. You never want to think that anyone you follow online.
I hope he lands on his feet, though. I do. I hope he lands on his feet. He seems like a fantastic person. And he's a phenomenal streamer. He's, in my opinion, I've spoke very hard of him for a long time. I think he's the best streamer on the platform without question. Like, no one comes close.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of this together, like, there's been other Twitch bans as well, and we could talk about, like, Twitch as a platform, and, like, the way the harassment that works, like, is just throughout that platform. Like, I don't know, it's our platform is also a mess, let's be honest, and I'm hoping, I don't know, hopefully, this does some real good for the platform, and, gets rid of the people that are, or at least changes some people's behavior, because there's a lot of young people on the platform that I like, just, I don't want to say, I mean, they're very much accountable, but they're also, like, dumb and young as well.
Yeah, they can't be held accountable for that when you're dealing with streamers who are in their mid-20s or older. And I think Twitch has a responsibility to handle this better.
Not that if you're young, that means you've got no accountability, but obviously there are people like that.
I mean, some of them are
you're held accountable, and that's that. But if you're like a 14-year-old and say something dumb, I mean, it's like, you've kind of got to take it with a pinch of salt, depending on how bad that is, obviously.
But yeah, I think. Go on, Tef. I'll let you finish before I go on.
I was just gonna say it's the medium of streaming, isn't it? And I think Twitch have only just realised how dangerous it can be and how they need to keep an eye on it, because by definition, by the way streaming is, you've got an easier way to contact your fans and speak to your fans and build a rapport, and people will take advantage of that. Psychopaths will take advantage of that, and people who wants to talk to their younger fans and possibly groom them and things like that, they can do that very easily compared to.
It's disgusting. It knocks me sick.
That's a widespread problem on the platform. Like even like smaller streamers, like a lot of like female smaller streamers, you'll have like partners that go in with their partner badge, and then these female streamers feel like they need to pander to these people who are obviously, or they'll like friends of partner streamers who will like be, you know, very like they'll harass them in a way. They just
want to like flaunt the status in front of everyone.
And I mean, I think me and Zolt have definitely seen that on the on the platform. I don't know if Zif seen it, but it is widespread. Oh, yeah, you see this stuff all the time, and unfortunately, it's just something that goes on the platform.
It's retarded. It's so dumb. It's pathetic.
I also don't think Twitch cares. I'll be honest. Like they may be seeing it, but it's just like they're just covering their tracks. They don't even discuss bans. They have a policy where they won't talk about bans. And the only reason they have this policy,
we discussed this the other night.
Yeah, the only reason they have this policy is so they have no accountability. So it's because they don't officially say why they've banned someone, so they can't. You know, if someone else gets banned for like a similar reason, they can't.
So why can't we?
They're just spineless, and they won't.
Oh yeah.
They won't like.
They need to just grow up and just like, you know.
They won't put an official statement down on why they've banned someone and set a precedent for other people on the platform as well. And it's just unfortunate they won't do that. But that's just companies in general. They don't want to have any accountability for any of this stuff, unfortunately.
The internet never change.
Yeah.
No, please change.
Actually, do a lot of change, actually, please, if you don't mind.
It used to be an escape, and now it's just like a fucking hellhole.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say stuff like this always frustrates me because it just seems so obvious. It's like if they were so much more open in information, they'd
control it as well.
It'd be safer, to be honest.
They just, everyone would like them more, and I mean, it's a completely different topic, but even with games, I see how games are made, and it's like, how did you even make that decision? Like Battlefront 2, it's like literally that game. I know it's so off topic, but it's like if you literally just put the effort in. If you actually tried, and it's so easy because now they are. It's like you could have just done that before. And it's like with Twitch, if you just put the effort in and we're open about details, like I can't think of the name, but the vodka with the cat, that person.
Alinity.
Alinity.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they still never said anything about it.
They didn't. I mean, she's been months. She's a piece of shit.
Okay,
just open about things. They'd everything would go much better for them. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They're just so corporate and so they just do not care.
Yeah.
It's a monopoly attitude. They don't need to say anything because there's no alternative.
Number one.
And I mean, now that Mixer's shut down, they're fine with banning people now. They're like, oh, are you a problem for the platform?
Bye.
Bye.
Gone from
99.9% market share. And just hit people with it.
Yeah. I mean, but they may have some more competitors on the way soon, which we'll get to later.
Oh, God, no.
We'll get to that later.
Poggers.
Yeah.
Poggers.
But no, I think we need to, before we do like move over to anything else, I think we need to talk about the effect this is going to have on the industry, because I think Twitch especially is going to have the equivalent of the adpocalypse that YouTube had. I said this to you guys a few times, but like, I mean, Dr. Disrespect for one is like the thing about him is he has a lot of non-endemic sponsors. Like he had Gillette, he had Old Spice.
That's huge.
These are people that never really touched the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And now that like this has happened, if this is something massive, like massively serious, then they're not going to want to touch the industry again. It's like, hey, do you want to sponsor this gamer? No. It's not safe. Like, if something's not safe, they'll all just pull out. And we're probably going to see that, unfortunately.
It's not good because like the games industry has finally been getting a little bit more respect, and now this.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day actually, because like I feel like specifically as well, esports has become a lot more accepted. Like, a lot more accepted. Like obviously that's a bit biased for myself to say, because I've always loved esports for years and years. But it's like it's becoming like the norm. Like I know there's a bar in Liverpool called Beer Keller, and that's had gaming tournaments on their televisions and stuff. And like that I mean, it might sound small, but like for things to be like viewed in like public places like that with like games, that's big.
That's a chain of pubs though. So if it's doing it there, it's doing it across the country.
It's doing it in all of them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a massive deal. I mean, for our country specifically, because I mean, I know like Sweden and stuff, they've always been big into esports. They have like esports bars and stuff anyway. But like I'm talking like specifically over here.
And Korea's national sports are esports.
yeah. So it's a
esports is Korea's football.
Literally though.
I think the problem though is that the face of gaming on the internet is like the influencers, the streamers, like speedrunners and stuff like that, and they're all people in their mid-20s who have just suddenly come into this internet world, and they've got to build up this business on their own with like maybe a little bit of help, maybe like just some like corporate face will come in and help them with that side of things, but they're still mostly on their own, and they're fairly young people, and especially with the likes of
overnight.
Yeah,
it can happen. Like Tfue, you can use him as an example. Tfue literally, I think he had like maybe 100 streamers, 100 viewers at the time of being found by FaZe's owner, FaZe Banks. His literal fame was an overnight thing just because someone liked them.
A lot of these people are young.
He's like 22, and he's a millionaire, like a multi-millionaire.
And
like,
that's so young for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the point that I was making. Like it can happen overnight to anyone young. Just bam, you're famous the next day.
And they're not going to be ready for that. You're not going to be ready for the PR that you've got to do to keep yourself in the good books, especially online these days. Like people aren't going to know what to do, and it's going to be so easy for those people to make mistakes. It's not like any other industry where the big faces are companies. It's just not the case here. And so many of them are people like that. And then I don't want to generalize either, because it's not always the case. But with like speedrunners and things like that, you get people who are brilliant minds but have no social skills because they are people who are 20 years old.
I think it's safe to say a lot of people like that on Twitch. A lot of people like that on Twitch do lack the social skills.
Listen, it's a touchy subject. None of us know how to socialise.
Yeah. We just go Pepe Hands and Pepega and chat all day, and then lol W. That's all people know.
I used the word to my girlfriend my fiance the other night. I've got a 5-head solution. I said that in normal conversation, and
did she slap you?
I didn't know how to backtrack. I was like, "Oh, what's such a 5-head solution?"
But yeah, that's just how it is, and like I feel like a lot of people aren't as invested in the industry as ourselves. Like, I mean, I'm maybe speaking for myself here, but I feel like I've seen a lot of this happen in the industry before, like with YouTube especially. I think most of us have seen stuff like this happen in the past, and a lot of the people are just new. These overnight successes are people that have just like, maybe they just play, all they do is like play Call of Duty or play Fortnite or whatever, and they just overnight they're just like, oh,
someone personally actually who's done that as well recently.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, I'm someone with a big influence over like 5,000 people, 10,000 people.
But you cannot blame them if you're 20 years old, or someone even younger. Like some of them can be like 16, and like you can't be blamed for them. Like so, they cannot be held accountable to have.
I think they can be held accountable
overnight.
Like
I mean, the ego part, to an extent.
I feel like
if you're a straight up dick, then yeah, hold them accountable. But like.
No, like you can have the ego, that's fine, but they are still held accountable. Obviously, they're gonna make mistakes, especially at that young of an age, and being an overnight success. But there's definitely accountability. But that's something they just have to own up on and learn from experience, I suppose, which is unfortunate. I feel like it's not something that it's something they should be told.
Learn.
Yeah,
it's the problem.
a lot of people don't have like, a lot of people don't have mentors that teach them how they should behave in the industry, and like people to ground them. Which, I mean, some people get lucky, some people do have that, but a lot of people are just, you know, sits indoors all day, plays Fortnite. Oh, I got 5,000 viewers now. I guess I influence a lot of children. Well, and then, you know, they just continue to be really obnoxious or whatever, and get a big ego, and teach the kids things they maybe shouldn't. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to really.
You are making a good point with it, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got to worry about those people who are like actual psychopaths who are influencing these kids. I mean, look at Anision. Like, he started in this, like you just said, he started as just a funky, fun COD player for the kids to watch, and then he built this weird cult around himself using that influence. And he's not the only one, and there's going to be more. And that's the problem with the industry revolving around single personalities that are they're not really controlled, are they? So it's scary. I don't know how we can fix that, honestly.
I don't think you can. I think that's.
I just hope that it. One thing that I hope is that it doesn't prevent people from considering joining organizations and becoming something that's much bigger than themselves. I love seeing people like come together, work together, like with organizations and everything. Like I think, like just like this, even like with 100 Thieves, like where that started, like that just started with one guy, an idea, and he had some contacts and just went, right, let's go for it. And then he's got some of like the biggest names working for him. I hope it doesn't prevent people from working for organizations in fear of something may happen.
Yeah, I think honestly, orgs in general, like stream orgs and stuff. And like it's the same thing that happened with YouTube orgs and stuff. They used to manage all these YouTubers, but a lot of these people don't need these organizations. Like, these are the people that set up sponsors for them, and they take like the cut. But a lot of these YouTubers, like, at one point cut out the middleman, and they, you know, left their orgs and go directly to the sponsors, and they make more money doing so. I think it depends on the organization. If it's like a personality driven organization or an esports organization, it's got a lot more going for it than something like OPG Group. What was the group we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, that was
we never got to the name.
I'm pretty sure it was
OPG. We were assuming OPG.
Yeah.
I just want to I just want to correct myself, sorry, because I just realised what I said. I was saying Anision. I didn't mean him. I meant Keemstar. Anision
did
DJ Keemstar?
Now. Crucify him right now.
I mean, Anision did do all those things that I just said, but he wasn't a gaming YouTuber ever. But, you know, Keemstar, he did the exact same thing, but he was a Halo guy, wasn't he, originally? Yeah. This is what I mean. There's so many of them, I got them mixed up, because it's fairly common.
I don't really know any about Anision, but I'll be honest, I don't know who he is.
No, not do I. I'll be honest.
Boy, oh boy, it's funny. He created a harem of underage girls, essentially. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean,
yikes.
Is he like part of the commentary side of YouTube? I feel like there's a whole commentary section of YouTube that I don't like. I just ignore them.
I think he was one of like the early vloggers, you know, back when you could get big on YouTube just by kind of rambling at the camera, but he did it with a personality.
What's in my bag?
Yeah.
Best videos right there.
But yeah, I mean, bringing it back around, yeah, there's gonna be an apocalypse on Twitch. Sponsors are gonna pull out. That's what we were talking about before we got around to there. But that's what I say. Unfortunately, and then I think, I mean, just people aren't going to be willing to work with people in the games industry as much for a while. People are going to back out. It'll probably be like another year or so before people start to consider even looking at the industry again, unfortunately, which holds the industry back a bit, especially like for creators more so. But yeah, it's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, rough 3 years. I think it's going to be rough for the world in general, because this isn't just happening in the games industry, of course.
Oh no, but we are talking about our own.
I mean,
we did mention wrestling.
Like Justin Bieber's being brought up about it. Like it's worldwide. We're just specific. We're just obviously specifying our industry, what we follow and support.
We don't. I try to avoid touching anything remotely political or uncomfortable on the show. We do want to keep it to gaming, but this is something that's so widespread and rooted deeply in the games industry. That's something that we obviously needed to address. So
yeah, like, our hearts are in this industry. We can't really not touch on it.
It's something like I still feel like we're kind of out of our depth talking about it, but
oh yeah,
you know, it's something that needs to be addressed. So
I think everyone is, honestly. That's
yeah. I
the
was gonna
problem,
say that's
isn't
to be
it?
fair. The only
Yeah.
person who's not, the only people who've not to the death are the ones who would, you know, just like what's the word I'm looking for? Tainting
People who are
the
actually doing
community.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah,
really want to
that'd
be in depth and something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah, it's just it's
You're too in depth. You're in the wrong.
yeah, like I don't know. This week's been exhausting to just see everything going on. I mean, it was only Mixer only shut down last Monday. Like
Yeah. Oh, what was that last Monday?
yeah,
God damn. It feels like it was
And
a month ago.
yeah.
I knew none of this. You like put all of this on me in like the space of 3 hours.
Did you not know any of this?
What?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
he's
you're
been
not
off
on-
Twitter.
no, no,
I'm off
Yeah.
Twitter. I knew none of this until we played
Yeah.
CK2. I was like, what?
Oh my Ziffy
I did just
boy.
dump it all on him, and he was just like,
Count yourself blessed, honestly, that you've not had to. Like, it's
Well, not
sad.
anymore.
I wake
Not
up.
anymore.
Oh, yeah, I wake up in the morning and I lie in bed, and the first thing I'll see is someone's like a rape story. It's fucking stupid. It's
Poor
depressing.
Zan was so tired out reading all these stories that he slept through the entire weekend and missed 2 streams.
But he definitely wasn't in a voice chat with me, and I was convinced him not to stream. That didn't happen.
that was
I
a
know,
few
we
hours
both had
before
that
I
one
fell
as well.
asleep. To be fair, yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
it's
it has
coming
been
out now.
exhausting. It has been exhausting though, and it's just been, you know, what a week.
I mean, I think you
How
how
can it
really
get?
needed to become a cultist to get rid of the stress.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a cult, guys.
like I feel like this week as well, we're probably gonna see even more, which is unfortunate, but I think that's
Oh, yeah.
that's gonna
I
be
just
it.
want to know what's happening with the doc. That's like the main story for me at the moment, honestly.
I mean,
just
yeah,
wanna know
I feel
what's
like
happening with the doc.
if
it's
it's something
so-
really bad that comes out from it's weird that
What should
it's
be
so
something
tight-lipped.
retarded?
Like if it's been so tight-lipped and so like it was something that came from above the trust and safety team, which is the team that bans people on Twitch. It came up from above this ban, which
Yeah.
is, and then no one's leaked it. It's
That's the
everyone wants to
thing,
know.
No, that's the thing that gets me. No one's leaked it yet. That's why I'm like, what's happened here?
I'll have to wait for the court documents, I reckon, at this rate.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's definitely locked
honestly,
down
the way
behind
it's
legal
going, yeah.
stuff. But hey, I mean, we'll see. You know, just don't hold your hopes on even ever hearing anything at this point.
I'm thinking, yeah, just don't hope you ever see him again, because you might not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and of course you've got Ninja and Shroud during all of this as well, who are now free agents.
They're staying clear.
Yeah.
They're staying clear.
Like my
They
prediction
go into
was,
Facebook.
my prediction was that Shroud would come back to Twitch and be bigger, and then Ninja would
I
probably
thought
go
he
to
would
YouTube. But
Nah, do you know what's happened? It's a perfect timing for the new streaming platform.
Plot twist, the doc just creates a new streaming platform and everyone jumps to that.
he honestly seems like the type that would do that, to be honest.
He's like, I remember a theme, done it? Oh, what a guy.
I mean, Athenes was like it relied on, it was like a API
It relied
for
on
Twitch or
Twitch,
something.
yeah.
I don't know.
It relied on Twitch to an extent.
But yeah, I feel like, is that all we want to say on this? Because we've talked about this a lot.
We are way past the break mark at this point.
We are.
I knew we were going to ramble on about that for a
Yeah,
long time.
I did as well. It was something that we needed to address. So does everyone feel like we've made our peace with that for now?
It's off my chest now.
All right, so we'll go take a quick 10-minute break then. You know, go make a cup of tea, go get yourself snacks, and we'll be back. And then we're gonna do some lighter topics. You know, it won't be as big. So yeah, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in 10 minutes. And we're back on. Okay, we're back.
Hey.
Cut down. Trying to get everyone quiet to go back on.
Do we talking about? We're well behaved.
Very well behaved bunch.
You guys don't even know the start of this podcast. Oh, stress.
Beautiful.
Stress. But yeah, on to the lighter topics now. We're gonna finish up the news. I think it's just gonna be news for the rest of the show. We probably won't touch on topics. Don't even think people have any prepared because it's such a busy week for other news. So
we've covered the main one I wanted to speak about, to be fair.
yeah. So first of all, we can talk about Crash 4, which everyone's excited for, which also has microtransactions.
Nay.
Hey. Because of course it does. Of course, for some reason,
now that
you
it's
want to
got
put
microtransactions, I'm thankful that I've not even looked into it, like on the game and in general.
I mean, there's not much detail. There's not much detail on it, but we know it's gonna be like a proper sequel to Crash 3, is what they've been saying. But what that means, it just means probably like the older style. It's probably because the Insane trilogy did really well. They were like, well, let's make Crash 4. Let's cash in on that. And you know how else we can cash in?
Done really well.
Throw some in-game purchases in there, boys. That's how you can do it.
Saying Crash Pink.
Yeah, milk it for all it's worth. So, I mean, it is going to be skins, costumes, which, again, is something we touched on earlier when we were talking about like cheats and stuff, and how stuff like that was something you'd earn when you actually played games back in the day. And now it's, hey, instead of earning this and having a little extra in your experience, you purchase this, You want Crash to wear a mustache? Well, you're gonna have to pay $5 for that.
Listen, I approve of that.
That'll be $5.99. Okay.
Not for $5.99, no. Don't approve of it for that.
Questionable.
You want Crash to wear a hat? That's $10.99. Okay. It's.
You want a full Dr. Disrespect get up for Crash? That's $15.99.
That'll.
Don't get banned.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We don't know what's gonna happen in that, but I mean, it's the game industry being the game industry. Let's milk this cash cow for all it's worth, Which is unfortunate because it's cool to see more games like Crash coming back and making, re-emerging into the AAA space, because this is not something that I feel like publishers would have thought would be successful until stuff like Ukulele came out and there was a Hat in Time and stuff, and I feel like this has gave them the idea that people do want to actually buy platformers in these types of games again, and now they're like, well, let's make one of those and let's fill them with microtransactions.
I think they saw those and they were like, hey, let's do the Insane trilogy anyway. Everyone like those old games. We'll see if there's interest, and there was a lot of interest. So
yeah.
Let's full steam ahead, Crash
4. Hey Dave, look, these are doing well. They're selling.
There's Skate coming out as well.
There's Skates, which we haven't really talked about. I'll be honest, I don't care about Skates.
Neither do I. I played Skate 2 and that's it.
Skate was okay. It was alright.
It's not. The physics were fantastic.
Yeah, it's not the Simpsons Skate.
Yeah, it was actually.
The Simpsons Skate 1 was a good game. I don't care what anyone says.
That's not true. That's just
objectively not true. It's a good game. It's a good game. Listen, 1v1 me. So
it was just reskinned.
That's not fair. You've been practicing on a shit game. I'll just fall over straight away because the controls make no sense.
That's why it's good.
I'm more excited for the Tony Hawk
it's no hit and run. It's no hit and run, but
that's not a good game either. If you go back to it though, that was actually dreadful.
But it was so good as a kid, when it was the one game you owned, you were like, yeah, this is the best.
Everyone's got this memory of it being this huge open world GTA game, and I had that memory too, but then you play it and it's
just levels. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of streets.
I don't know, I specifically remember like the level with the church, and then you could drive out onto the lake or whatever. That's all.
I just remember every time I turned it on, I just got the rocket car from the mansion and just drove around on that. There didn't really be much else.
That was hit and run.
That's what I'm talking about. What did you guys
say? When you talking about the other one, the like taxi driver?
I'm talking about hit and run.
That's Road Rage. We were talking about hit and run. Road Rage was not mentioned.
Get out of here, Zan. This is our podcast now.
I'm confused. Was that Road Rage? I'll listen. Hit and Run was okay. It's very similar titles, okay? It could have been either or.
And it's got nothing to do with Crash, so let's go back to the topic on
hand. How did we even get here?
I mean, let's be fair, there's nothing to talk about with Crash. We don't know anything about it.
Other than it has in-game purchases.
Besides
it's just got 100 levels.
So listen, I just want to complain about microtransactions because you're putting microtransactions in my Crash.
You want to complain about microtransactions and your main game is Arcade?
Listen. It's
true, but he shouldn't have said it.
This is a single player game. This is Crash. It's not some MMO. Obviously, like MMOs are live services. That's why it's not as egregious. But when you're putting it in Crash Bandicoot, a platformer game, that's where like you need to just be like, why are you doing this?
I mean, you've got to flex on the NPCs, man.
What does that even mean?
Doing like the Crash dance.
Oh,
Doing the like.
of the
That's getting
Fortnite
clipped.
dance. What were you doing there?
No, that was Crash's dance. It was the.
It looks like you're doing the Fortnite dance because we can't see
I
the
know
whole
what
thing.
you're on about
Yeah.
as well.
I'm flossing.
It's the
What I do.
Spider-Man one. No, it's not that one's the Spider-Man one where they all run in a line.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's horrible. No, don't talk to me ever again. I'm never coming on this podcast again.
Someone clipped Tef and then just like put him over one of the Spider-Man guys.
Put it on
Like
a
put his upper
GIF.
body over that of them Fortnite dancing.
Was it that dance where there's like the Master Chief guy doing it?
I
is.
think
Yeah.
it was them as well. Yeah.
I know the one you mean.
That's
I
what it
hate
looked
you all
like.
now.
All right.
I
Well,
totally had Discord open. I seen it.
but yeah. So I mean, we can move on from it then. But microtransactions in Crash bad. Stop this. Okay. AAA game industry
How did they not
publishers.
learn from CTR? That's what I want to know.
I think they made money off CTR. That's the issue. They always do somehow.
It's so dodgy how they brought it in after
Yeah.
the game came out.
It makes me wonder if they're gonna do it with Crash Bandicoot 4 as well, because as far as we know, it's got the symbol to say it will have it, but there's been none announced. So it might just be the case that that's there, and then it's like later down the line they just throw them in and it's been like, well, you know, we had the thing there.
Bam,
You guys should have
expansion.
known they were coming.
Well, no, if it was an expansion, that'll be okay, but it'll be something stupider than that.
It's gotta be
It'll be
put.
to let you run
Crash
faster.
in a
or something
dress.
daft like that.
Different coloured shoes. Like,
Yeah.
Come on.
We all went for different
you
things
can put-
there.
You can put Crash in Coco's bra, $7.99.
Oh,
Actually, no, don't do that. They're related. That's weird. That's a clawback.
yeah. You can. I don't know.
I mean,
this-
I'm all for it. Have we
Okay,
lost them?
Oh,
Zan and
Tef
Zif,
is-
you take over.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic.
Something that isn't incest in games.
Okay. So. Like,
I take
how,
those.
how do we boot Salt mid podcast and like not make a big deal out of it?
I mean, no one will notice that he's gone. He's not gonna
Bro.
come.
I mean, tape face. Yeah, it would just be silence. But yeah, so more Cyberpunk details have come out. We'll move on to that very swiftly.
Yay! No one cares about this game except for you.
What do you
Yay.
mean? No one except me.
Excuse me?
The whole industry is like,
Play
this is the
Witcher
game.
and come back to us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like
Switch, you got to do with Cyberpunk.
it's made by the
Same
same devs.
developer.
Oh, okay.
Siri might even be in it.
I thought I
Like,
was
let's
thinking the actual game. No,
like
I
let's
was
be
thinking the
honest.
actual game.
Siri could be in it at some points. She does talk about a cyberpunkish world in Witcher.
Oh, that would
Jesse
be so cool.
Cox is in it. I'm
Jesse
buying the
Cox
game.
is in it. It's true. He's
I saw a
pantsless.
really
He's
cool
pantless
artwork
in the
of,
trailer.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Siri. It looks so good.
But yeah,
Siri's a cool girl.
there's a lot more details on the game that's come out now. There's like, we now know there's actually different ways you can start the game as well. You can start off as, I think there's 3 different places you can start off. You can start off as like the corp guys, which are like you're rich, you know, you live in the high life. I believe it
Easy
opens
life.
up. It opens up with you in a mirror just
Your
vomiting,
Bob page.
basically. And then there's like the street
Tail
kids,
pimps.
I think it's called, and they're
Yep.
like, you know, they're the people that are in with the gangs. They know the streets. And then there's also
Down
the
with the
Badlands
kids.
guys. So there's like this area outside of
I'm going
Nomads.
Nomad.
So there's this whole sort of area outside of Night City, which is the city. That's like, it's Mad Max out there. So from what we've seen. And the way this is gonna work now is the 2 like partner characters that you have, like the what's his name? You know, the big guy that's like, I forgot his name. But listen, the like 2
I
partner
only know the
characters that
main
you have at the
character's
start. Yeah, the main character's name's easy because it's called V. But yeah, like you have those side characters will be with you depending on whatever path you take, but they'll have like a slightly different background, I suppose, is what I'm understanding. And as like the corpse guys, you like fly into Night City. In the Badlands, you drive in like your car, and obviously the story's slightly different depending on who you play, and there's different choices. We also know there's like the new there's the brain dance thing, which is like you actually go into people's experiences, like that
It sounds like I should look into this game and understand what it's about.
Yeah,
because I know nothing.
It'd probably help if you actually did the reading that I sent.
Imagine that.
Listen,
but yeah,
I'm here for the first time experience.
But yeah, the brainwave stuff is like, it looks really cool. It's like this investigation stuff where you go, it's like VR, but you're living someone else's life, and it's like put in this form, and like there's different types of brain dances. So some of them are like films and stuff, and then some of the ones you go into have a different name because for people that have died. And you go into them and you see like them dying, and like you can come out of their experience and go into like a sort of camera view and look around for different details in there. Huh. But it looks really interesting, and I'm excited for this game. I've been waiting.
I'm surprised because Witcher has investigations in it already, so they're just doing a big build upon that, because Witcher investigations were pretty good.
Yeah, this is like some next level stuff though. It's like it looks like it's a whole sort of investigation feature set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
sounds really interesting.
Apparently you can just do a lot in this game, from what I'm understanding. And of course, one of the main characters in the game is
online?
No. I don't think it has online. But yeah, and of course one of the main characters is Keanu Reeves. So
they did say it's getting some sort of multiplayer in it.
That'll be interesting.
MLG Cyberpunk, make it happen.
It looks like it's gonna be cyberpunky sort of. It's gonna be very RPG heavy, and it's also got some GTA elements as well. Like you can steal any car you want and stuff like that. From what I saw, like any car you want to get in, you can get in.
Will you steal any car?
And from what was said, what I heard, because a lot of what I watched was Jesse, because he's got a lot of time to actually playtest the game as well. He actually got some of the insider info, so he spoke about you can just go, like a lot of the buildings in the game you can just go in. Like a lot of the world is just open to you. There's no lot locked off.
That's good.
Yeah, and I know it's gonna be very interesting. I'm looking for I've been waiting for this game for like eight years. How long has it been?
Yeah,
8 years.
Yeah.
Me and you have been on it since that teaser trailer, which was fantastic.
You remember the teaser trailer coming out and me being like, Game of the Year, whatever year this comes out, it's Game of the Year. I said this with Witcher 3 as well.
On the IMAX.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
It had,
do you realise how long ago that was, guys, as well? I thought
8 years. We just said 8 years.
We're old boys.
We're in school still.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I mean, I said it with The Witcher as well. When The Witcher was coming out, I was like, Game of the Year whenever it comes out. And guess what? It was Game of the Year. So get ready, boys and girls. Yeah. It's going to be Game of the Year. I don't get hyped for games.
I don't think I can possibly live up to your expectations now. And after 8 years, that's what scares me about it. And that's what's always put me off playing The Witcher.
Overdevelopment.
Honestly, I know that as well. Yeah, it's definitely it must have been overdeveloped at this point. But
there's been talks of crunch that has happened to CD Projekt Red as well, which is, not good. That's definitely something that needs to be brought up when talking about it.
Funny how development length doesn't affect crunch. So it doesn't matter how long the game's for. There'll still be how long it's been developed for. There'll still be a crunch period at the end.
It's just poor management.
Yeah, it is. Like, and even with games where they go like, I'll tell you what, we'll push it back 3 months so there's not a crunch. It just makes the crunch bigger because they just add in more project goals because they know they've got more time now. Oh,
yeah, feature creep.
But, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm really hoping this. Just concerned. I mean, I bought The Witcher midstream. I did actually get it, so I'm going to play it now. But the reason I've always put it off in the past is because I feel like it can't possibly live up to expectations now. It's like the biggest game of all time, besides like GTA at this point. Well, it's definitely the biggest PC game of all time. So I just feel like it will not live up to my expectations now.
I mean, if your expectations are like insane, then no, it probably won't. But at the same time, it is probably still one of the best RPGs that's come out.
Yeah,
in a long time.
You got to take into consideration when it did come out as well.
Yeah, it was. How long ago did The Witcher 3 come out at this point?
Still impressive, to be
It is still
honest.
very impressive.
It's still impressive. It really is still impressive. But
I still love its
you gotta
tree
take.
physics.
Yeah.
My God, it's 5 years old. As
Yeah.
if. Wow, I didn't know it was that old.
So, you know, ground your
And
expectations
in those
with
5
that.
years, there's been like so much development and everything. Like it's so much more advanced already. Like I actually looked at GTA the other day, like GTA 5, and I was like, wow, that game's 7 years old, and it's still phenomenal.
It's beginning to show its age a little bit graphically now, I think, but only just beginning to. It still looks great.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
ridiculous.
I mean, the
The
models in that game, though. If you look at the character
Hmm.
models and stuff, that's like quite visible there. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's fair.
I think Cyberpunk is. I know what to expect from it, and I think it's gonna be good. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, Jesse is also in it, and he's actually in one of the intro quests as like a pantsless guy because I've seen an image of it.
And it gives you a quest.
Yeah, you can yeah, you can ride along the car. I mean, he was in The Witcher as well. He was in The Witcher with
Was he in The Witcher?
So was Dodger.
Yeah, Dodger and Angry Joe, was it? I think they were the three.
I don't know. Angry Joe is in it.
I think weren't they like three trolls that were in a cave somewhere?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But no, it's so I'm honestly really looking for. You know, I've been looking forward to it. I don't really get hyped for games, but this is one where I'm just like, take me away. You know, Keanu Reeves, take me into your silver hands.
I was going to mention two quick details on it. One, they said the DLC. It seems like there's going to be a lot of free DLC, like how they did Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And also, they did say the multiplayer is probably going to be a massive addition to the game, and it's probably going to be like nearly 2 years after the game actually comes out.
Yeah, I do recall some mention of that now that you mention it.
So sort of like GTA Online, if anything, because that took ages to come out.
If it's like GTA Online, then oh, like imagine GTA Online in that city, in that sort of cyberpunk.
If that happens, I'm done.
I mean, listen, you should
How
actually.
much is it gonna be, by the way? Is there a price I got it? Yeah.
It's probably $60. You know, the usual
Standard, yeah.
That'll be the standard price. But yeah.
CD Projekt games get fairly deep discounts when they do go on sale, though, which is quite nice. Even like when they're fairly new.
Yeah, $49.99 it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it'll be the standard price, and honestly, I just can't wait. You know, I could talk about it all day.
Maybe £10 a year if it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, the CD Projekt Red have been good about that kind of stuff. They also have GOG, and the Witcher series has had some deep discounts on there.
Yeah, I do like that it doesn't seem to have any additions. It's literally just the game. Doesn't seem to have, get this better gun in the Royal Edition.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate that so much.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like CD Projekt Red have always been taking a stance against a lot of standard practices within the industry, and they like to boast about that as well. Like I remember the piracy thing they did with The Witcher 2, which I've probably brought up in the past, where it's like they put out their own pirated version of The Witcher 2 if you didn't want to buy the game, but you had to wear a pirate hat for the whole time. And
that's great.
Yeah, stuff like that is just really funny. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we've talked about. Just CD Projekt Red. Just send me a copy, okay? Just send me a copy, okay? I'll shill. I'm a shill. Just send me the copy. Okay, we can move on. So, Ubisoft have had a very original idea.
No.
You want to tell me what it is, Tef? Do you want to tell me the original idea?
I believe, according to the cliff notes you've sent out for us, Zan, the original idea is a free-to-play battle royale. Never before have I heard of anything like that.
That's me falling asleep. Just.
The screenshots look so generic. Oh God.
Yeah.
it's literally one.
It seems so late at this point. Like I don't know. Go on, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, like, it's It is really late to the game. But I wonder how long they've been developing it though, because it's just come out of the blue and they're going right, close beta next week. So it's like it seems like ready. We'll probably have it in a month, but like, who cares?
So they've also been talking about how it's going to be very heavily integrated with Twitch as well. So they're probably going to have drops. It's going to be very similar situation to Valorant. They've probably seen the Valorant situation and be like, oh, we got to get on that. We got to have some of that PR for ourselves. But it's going to have that. It's also going to have chat integration, so somehow chat can affect what's going on. I think they showed examples of it, like more health and stuff like that. And I don't know how that
meteor showers coming down.
Every time someone
Red
posts
zone.
a cafe, you just drop dead.
Every Twitch chat would be Kappas over and over, and it would not stop until the person stops streaming.
I really don't think it's a good idea, to be honest, to have chat integration. That's going to go horribly wrong. The only time it's ever worked well is when Twitch played Pokemon, and even then, they could never recreate that. That was lightning in a bottle. Every attempt afterwards was a shit show.
I mean, I honestly think it's the kind of thing where it can be a fun little gimmick, but that's all it ever is. It's nothing more than that. And even like, especially battle royales and stuff, they've developed an esports scene, which I don't really think. I don't see it as an esports. I don't think it's a game it's a genre that's very suitable for esports, although people have made it that way. But also,
so much chance in it.
Yeah. And if you want to integrate Twitch chat in there as well, it's going to be even less competitive of a game. Why anyone would care about this, picking up this game, I don't know. It's free to play. That's all it's got going for it at this point. Free to play, it's got Twitch integration.
I'm not even sure it's getting good marketing or good press, because honestly, I hadn't seen this article until you sent it to us for this podcast.
No, it's literally got... Yeah, it's not on came up with. I saw Slasher leaked it just earlier this day, and then articles were released on it. So that's the only reason anyone knows anything about the game. It's literally only just been mentioned. So it's weird that they're going to throw it out into beta right away. I guess... I don't know. It's a bizarre. Like,
it doesn't even mention it on Uplay News at all.
That's embarrassing, isn't it?
I mean, I think it's just been leaked, so they've not had a chance to talk about it themselves. Which, I mean, we'll see what comes of it.
There's a beta next week. They should probably get talking about it soon. Gotta have some sort of hype train. You can't just unleash the beta.
I mean, they've not officially said there's a beta coming though, have they? This is all being leaked rumors, which, I mean, it's looking very true. But
yeah.
If it's in a week from now, we should be seeing announcements any day now. Unless they're going to announce it and be like, and you can play it right now. Which the PC gaming show like to do. They like to be like, here's this game, and you can play it right now. And it's like, oh, okay. In early access. It's like, oh cool.
Didn't you go with, like, Dauntless? Was that one you didn't with?
No. Torchlight 3. That happened on the PC gaming show. It was like, Torchlight 3. Here's Torchlight 3. This is what it's going to be like. Also, it's available right now in early access. Go check it out.
So it sucks for everybody. It sucks for everybody at this event because you can't play it until you go home.
Well, I mean, it was a digital event, because, I mean, there's no events going on this year, let's be honest. There's not going to be one at any point this year.
They did it with Persona 4 at PC Gaming Show, didn't they? Which would have been really cool if it hadn't been leaked the week before and everyone knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Play those Persona games, are they any good?
From what I heard, yeah. I mean, it's probably not for you, though, Zolt.
Yeah. I always trust Sam with game recommendations for me because he knows what I like.
Yeah, it's a JRPG, which I don't see you playing.
Yeah.
I need a game to tell me that I'm better than someone else.
Yeah.
It's my kind of game.
Zolt needs that validation.
I do, sadly.
But yeah. So, I mean...
It's what Counter-Strike's done to me. I blame Counter-Strike.
Well, I mean, hey. You don't play CSGO anymore. We can't introduce you as the guy who plays CSGO. It's the guy who plays WoW Classic now. But yeah, let's move on to our last topic because we are running towards the end of the podcast now. This one's going to be a fun one as well, this one's also bizarre with the timing of it, because Tencent, in all their wisdom, are now launching their own live streaming platform.
Hey.
Why? I don't know. What's the name of it
again? As soon as you open the website, Trovo.
Trovo, yeah.
Place your bets now. As soon as you open the web page, it instantly Chrome just downloads spyware onto your computer. And it's like you've got to install this exe before you can go any further on the website.
Yeah, I mean,
they just want their fingers in even more pies.
They've got their fingers in so many pies. Like, how do they even have that many fingers to start with? You know, they control a lot of the industry from behind the scenes, and I feel like a lot of people didn't hear about them until as of recently, I suppose. Yeah, but they have involvement in so much of the industry, and now they're making their own platform. And again, the timing of this is bizarre with Mixer shutting down literally just last week.
The bizarrest thing though is it doesn't look like it's actually competing directly with Twitch, because it's mobile focused apparently, and the biggest game on the platform at the minute. Well, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? Like, who uses Twitch on the phone? The app's crap anyway.
Actually,
like, did, like, but
a lot of people do use Twitch on phone. Like, it's quite popular.
But the thing is, like, that's not even what they mean. When I first read mobile focused, I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be mostly about the app. It's
mobile
not going to
gaming.
be like web page, but it's mobile gaming. Yeah, the biggest game on the platform is Call of Duty Mobile. Who wants to watch streams of mobile games?
So I will say, mobile game streams actually perform really well, even on Twitch.
What the hell?
Weirdly, and I don't know why.
You just sat there waiting, watching the timer go down together. Like,
yeah,
wow.
Like PUBG Mobile was actually really big on Twitch for a long time, and people were hosting like tournaments on there and stuff, and like, you know, it was like small cash prizes that pulled in a lot of people. Now, what I've seen that Tencent are doing with this new platform is they're offering incentives for people to come on over. Like, they get paid a certain amount if they meet certain criteria on their new platform. And I suppose this is the way they plan to pull streamers over from other platforms, or get streamers like YouTubers or stuff to start on their platform. They just look like they're throwing money at this, and it's the same mistake Mixer made. Like, the problem is they don't have any traffic moving through their platform already. Like, YouTube and Facebook have that, so they're okay. Twitch was first to the scene, so they have the monopoly. But Facebook and YouTube are slowly growing in market share because they have this traffic already moving through. And then Mixer's shut down, and Tencent's like, you know what? That Mixer idea? That's a pretty good idea. Let's do that ourselves. We'll just throw out some money, pull some streamers in. Hey, I had Ninja and Shroud free. Maybe we'll throw some money towards them. They've probably got offers from this new site. Neither of them are gonna. Hey, maybe they will. Maybe they'll be like, hey, if we can sign one of those contracts to get another 30 million when they shut down in 6 months, I'm down for that. But no, I don't see this platform doing well at all. I could be wrong. It is Tencent. They could just throw a bunch of money at it, and it might be the case that this platform performs better in China or somewhere like that, because that's where Tencent is focused. So it could be a platform that does well there and is very focused on that demographic. But
it's a massive demographic over in China anyway, to be fair. Like, mobile games huge. Like, that's why like everyone's still hanging on like Diablo Immortal. It's such a smart business move. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, it's a smart business move. It was not a smart PR move to say that on stage and then not present Diablo 4 when that's what everyone was expecting.
I
mean, to be fair, I'm getting Diablo Immortal when it comes out. I don't care. I want to try it.
I'm just gonna get Diablo 4.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for Diablo 4.
Can I just point out, guys, one thing you were just saying about how you think they might be focused on China. According to this PC Gamer article, Trovo is actually a US-based company. Obviously, Tencent is obviously pumping the money in, but they're an American company, so presumably they're focusing on the West.
and the network would be based there. So,
but like, I can't see them doing well in the West. Like, I can see them doing well in China if they focus there, but over here, there's nothing you can do. Like, you can throw all the money in the world at this platform, but unless you're pulling unless Twitch, with everything going on, a bunch of people start, jumping ship off Twitch, and then they're like, hey, pile of money.
I wonder if that's the game plan, actually, because there's a lot of incentives for creators to go over there, but not much in the way of incentives for viewers to go over there, because the article's talking about these incentives where giving bonuses and that. Yeah, so I guess like that does make sense for a creator, especially if you've just been banned off Twitch. But unless they get lucky and loads of people get banned off Twitch and move to Trovo, there's no other. I can't see any other game plan that will work out here.
Yeah,
because there's nothing to pull the viewers in.
Here's the thing, like, I've looked at those, like, the sort of incentives they have there. If you're one of the top streamers on Twitch, you're gonna look at those incentives and laugh. You're gonna be like, no, where's my $1 million contract? That's what top Twitch streamers are looking for. Like, obviously that's
it's bonkers how much money people are actually getting.
Yeah. Like, these incentives are obviously, targeting towards smaller streamers and, like, medium-sized streamers who are like, oh, I could make that much? And, like, they don't know their own worth and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of streamers who have no idea how any of the business world works. So they see this stuff and, like, ooh, I can make money. And also, I dislike Twitch. I dislike Twitch, and I can't be on Mixer anymore. And stuff like that.
Win-win.
But I mean, like, people have just been banned with Mixer, so who knows?
YouTube, please save us.
It will be YouTube in the end. I think we're in it again. Like, every game plan that I can see involves something going wrong with Twitch. It's like they're banking on there being some sort of Twitch exodus, which is not going to happen. If Twitch does die, it'll be a slow, painful death to YouTube, not to anywhere else. Weird
it's
like
not going to
business
be like
plan.
an exodus to a tiny thing. It's going to be to another massive thing.
Never works anyway. It's like that time everyone on Reddit tried to move to that other website. I think Vote was it, and it just crashed the servers because it wasn't. They weren't ready for it, and everyone went back to Reddit because Vote was down. Stupid.
Like, I've said this for ages, but I think YouTube is gonna be the top dog for streaming in the end. I think Twitch, honestly, especially the way Twitch has been going for like the past few years, it's been very stagnant, and the way they handle stuff on the platform is very poorly, and I think it's because it is a rather young company, and a lot of the people running it are like, I don't know. I feel like the business sense isn't there. It's just bizarre, and again, the way they handle bans is a big issue for a lot of people. I think it's just they need to be accountable. If they were more accountable, if they put out more features on the site, if they were rolling stuff out faster and actually updating people, there'd be less bad PR about the site. There's a lot of people who just despise Twitch and streamers in general because of what they hear about the platform, and it's, I don't know. I feel like Twitch, like, if Twitch continues the way it is, it's probably on borrowed time. It's just because it was first there. That's why it has so much of the market. And I think Facebook gaming and YouTube are just slowly going to eat away at that. And then if another competitor does come in and actually manages to take off, which I don't think they will, but
you just need to put the foot down on the gas, man. They're going to take over the goddamn world, I swear.
I feel like they've definitely got a lot working on it, but they don't want to bring it out until it's really fleshed out.
We talk about Twitch or YouTube?
They're not stupid. No, YouTube, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think they'll have a lot working on it behind, but they're not dripping it out. Like, they want to just overhaul it at some point. And because, like I said, they're not stupid. They'll be getting ready to get on it at some point.
You say they're not stupid, but it is Google at the end of the day, and Google like to just miss open goals constantly, so who knows?
YouTube have gotten a lot better, though. Like, so the CEO YouTube, Susan Wachowski, is that her name? She
I'm not
actually,
sure, sorry.
she's been a lot more involved in the community than
She only just like
previously.
randomly comments on people's videos as well.
Yeah, she does that,
I've
and she
seen
actually goes and visits the YouTubers in person and actually sits down and talks with them.
She seems cool.
Yeah, and so we've seen a lot of development in that, and then of course Courage got paid to be on YouTube. There was Valkyrie as well. You mentioned Zolt.
Valkyrie, yeah. She's another massive pickup for them.
There's definitely been other people as well. I'm almost sure.
There's been a lot more people. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a bit
So they've invested money into streamers, and PewDiePie was a big one as well. They paid PewDiePie to like stream on the platform now as well. So D-Live done it at one point with PewDiePie, didn't he? They must have gave him a shit ton of money for that. A shit ton. Yeah, and then D-Live.
They were a brand. They had nothing. They came from nowhere. To be fair, I like the idea of D-Live to this day, but that's just not gonna take off. It's just not. It's just cryptocurrency.
But yeah, I mean, they're definitely. It looks like they're ramping up to actually improve the streaming on that platform. I think they honestly just need to flick a few switches, make streams more discoverable. Like I said, if you just had streams, if you searched for a video and then you had videos on the left and streams on the right, there you go. Like, that's gonna push that platform so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
they need like a massive UI change for the stream and like the streaming part of YouTube to pop off. I think the UI alone is like such a letdown for what it is. It's so garbage.
It's so outdated.
Yeah, it's horrendous. It's so bad. It makes it's not like as easy to find people. It's not coordinated. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can filter for what you're kind of looking for, but the way Twitch is like UI is like everything about like Twitch is. I mean, even though Twitch are like mass, obviously it's a bigger streaming platform specifically, so it knows what to cater for. But if YouTube just has like an overhaul of like the look of the streaming part of the actual platform, it'd be a lot better. I really do. I think it'll like a lot more people will go to it.
That's the thing. YouTube would also have an algorithm. Twitch has no algorithm. Twitch,
exactly.
I still think Twitch's UI is absolute garbage. Like, the website is terrible to navigate.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's everything to do with like as like a streamer yourself, like doing like going through your settings and all that stuff. That is the most like looking for my streamer key takes me 30 minutes every time I do it.
People think
pisses me off so much.
When you're actually in the back end of it as well, it's awful.
It's so bad. Like, I'll admit that. Like, for an actual streamer themselves, I mean, the mod view is phenomenal. I like the mod view. The mod
view's great. Yeah.
The mod view's fantastic.
That's a recent feature, though.
I feel like a proper hacker man on that mod view, but it is like brand new, probably, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, man! Listen, that's so good. It's so satisfying. And it's really helpful for mods as well, because people actually like that's their jobs in some cases.
Yeah, I don't pay any mine.
I mean, listen, I've banned like one person of yours, and I've been a mod for like 5 years.
Pretty sure Tef has more watch time than you, Zolt.
Oh, he does.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm creeping up on Chem. I'm getting there, mate. I'll take over.
But yeah, I mean, I still think Twitch is like, as a viewer, it's terrible. Like, how am I supposed to find someone decent to watch that's like a smaller streamer? There's just no way. There's no way you can do it. Like, you go to a Twitch stream, you're just gonna look for the top streamer every time. They have had the recommended one, but the way it works is it just goes, 30% of people that watch this stream also watch this stream, so check out this stream too.
So just more big people.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's a very I don't know. It's awfully done. I think YouTube can do it so much better. They're gonna have an algorithm, of course, because it's YouTube. They've got that back end already set up. They just need to put it in for streams as well. Obviously, I don't know how easy that is to do, but they can take off and take over the market so much easier. But if you're Tencent being like, hey, let's launch a new platform, you're probably not going anywhere. I don't know. Does anyone think this
I don't think it's gonna take off. I just don't.
No.
I really don't.
Do we see it even getting 5% market share?
No.
How much did Mixer have?
2.
And Mixer put a lot more money and a lot more time and effort.
Yeah, they put a lot in it.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
put hundreds of millions, like literally, and that's just on like getting content created. Yeah. Mixer's Microsoft.
I mean, they spent 40 million on Ninja and Shroud alone.
Is that how much there's floating on between them, or was it more than that?
Well, no, Ninja got 30 million, Shroud got 10
Is
million.
that what came out? Is that
Well,
what
that's what's
came out, yeah?
that's what's rumored. So we're
Yeah,
pretty
I think
sure
that's
we're pretty certain they're numbers.
And Trovo, that's their entire budget for bringing people in is 30 million, and that's what they give one
that's
guy.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the now if Mixer are going to do that and not pop off, what makes them think that they're going to do it?
If anything, YouTube will just see these people failing, see why they're failing, and just avoid all those mistakes.
Yeah, I wonder if they saw. I mean, YouTube doesn't even have an end to worry about, but I wonder if they saw Mixer shut down and be like, "Now's our time. Now's our time. Let's announce the platform.
Go.
Get this out."
You guys,
like, what sense has he done?
We'll pull in the Mixer refugees.
You guys, you're definitely giving Google too much credit. I do think that's probably what Trovo's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Google don't think like that. Google live in their own little world, and they may one day, out of the blue, suddenly decide that they don't want to continue with streaming on YouTube and shut the entire thing down with no warning, because they do that all the time too, and that would make no sense. But it's Google, so they probably do it.
Yeah, but I think that too much has been invested in the YouTube gaming side of things.
That does not stop Google. That really does not stop Google. Have you seen all the different messaging apps they've created over the years to try and compete with iMessage? And they'll put loads and loads of money into them, and then they'll just go, no. All the money they put into Google Plus, gone.
Oh yeah, Google Plus gone. Yeah.
Yeah, Google Plus gone.
The difference is YouTube has like 40% market share compared to like Mixer, which had like, I'm pretty sure it's like 40% market share, right? Compared to Mixer that had 2%, which is big. And then Facebook gaming has 8% now, I want to say. I think it's 8%. And that's going to grow. I think that'll definitely grow. And especially if especially with the Mixer merge, there's going to be a lot of streamers going over there. So that's going to boost that up a bit. And then it's Facebook, so they have traffic on the website already, so they can, throw them through there. But yeah, I think we can just safely say this platform's going to do poorly.
Oh yeah,
without question. Just without question. We don't even need to confirm that. Everyone knows it's just.
I mean, we could be wrong. We could look back on this clip in like a year's time and be like, "Well, we were all wrong."
I'll put money
10% rule the world.
Coming at you live from the new platform.
Coming at you live, guys, from Trovo.
Yeah.
Not gonna make sure to drop those.
Terrible.
Make sure to drop some Trovo subs in the chat, guys. Trovo gifts.
Trovo subs. What should you call us? Like you'll have like.
Drop some Trovos in the chat, boys. Let's get the Trovo train going.
Good old Trovo train.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. Surely not. But who knows? Again, I think that's it for today. Anyway, that's like all the news. We covered a lot.
Pooped.
Yeah, but it's been an exhausting week. What can I say?
So you keep saying you've been asleep for half of it, though.
I was so exhausted. That's why. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there. So. Tef, where can they find you?
Twitter.com/Teffers. That's about it. I still haven't finished another Medium article. I actually got most of the way through one and then decided I hated it and scrapped it. So I'm starting a different one now. I'm fun like that. What can I say? But yeah, I'm on Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter. You can see me rant. And I'll probably just be responding to Zan's rants as well.
That's all we do on Twitter.
Basically, yeah. I like to go on Twitter. I like to see you rant. I like to see Zolt rant because Zolt does some great rants. I never have a clue what he's talking about because it's all esports scene stuff. But it's just great because he's angry, and that's all I need to know.
True.
But yeah, and then no articles you're working on currently. Nothing coming out.
No, I scrapped the one I was working on. So.
All right. Well,
yeah, I'll have something.
Fine.
Probably eventually, maybe. Who knows?
All right. Down below, Zif, where can they find you? What's going on with you lately?
Hey, well, just Ziflock on Twitch. I may be coming back with some Crusader Kings on Twitch sometime soon. We'll see. And pretty much only the main other place is YouTube, which is Ziflock Gaming, and I may well be doing a bit of a drive for CK content on there in the run up to CK3.
Yeah, you will.
We'll see.
Some game nights, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter at the moment, but it's pretty much just Twitch and YouTube is where you want to look out.
All right, so finally, last but probably least, Zolt, where can they find you?
You can't.
Classic, what server on Classic WoW?
You can't.
What Classic WoW server can they find you on, Zolt?
No, you can't. I'm not a thing. Don't worry about it. I'm just not here.
I mean,
Twitter.com. It's the only place. Nowhere else. Don't expect content because you're not getting it.
Well, you got a YouTube as well.
No.
Do you want to plug YouTube? That you don't put anything on? No?
I don't do YouTube, but I'm talking about.
Okay.
You're my favourite tweeter, Zolt. Just the angriest man on Twitter. It's great.
Oh, it's great. I love it. I mean, I'm really happy when I remember when I made that. Wait, let me go into profile right now. I'll tell you when I made this prediction of T1 gonna win the 18th of June. I tweeted T1 are going to win this and hold me to it, and that's for the first North American event in Valorant. Hold me to it. Just hold me to it.
This is one of the things that Tef's like, Tef's like, I'm behind this. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm behind this.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that and I was like, yeah, he's probably right. I've got no idea what he's talking about, but I trust him.
They're already in the semi-finals and they've beat like one of the hardest teams in the competition. Like, I've got no doubt that they're gonna win it. Yeah. No doubt at all.
All right, well, that's where you can find Zolt. But
or on Thunderlord Tribe if you're playing EU Classic WoW.
Yeah.
Send me gold.
There you go. Send me gold. But yeah, and if you don't know me already, which I assume you do, because you know it's here on Twitch. You're here on Twitch with me, but I'm Zanrise on Twitch, Zanrise on YouTube, Zan Games on Twitter, the real Zanrise on Instagram. Buy my merch. I don't have merch, but hey, here we are.
You do.
But yeah, I mean, hey, I don't have an official merch store up. But we'll get one eventually.
Sort out, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna
get my face on there.
Yeah, I'll put your face on a t-shirt. It'll look great.
Oh no, you should Photoshop your face onto Jack and my face onto Dexter. Do it.
I can do that. I can do that. Don't you worry. But yeah, so that has been podcast number 7. We're still going. We've not been cancelled yet. This podcast may get us cancelled. We don't know. We'll see. We'll find out in 24 hours.
Spicy.
But yeah. I hope. I mean, we've discussed a lot of serious stuff today, and hopefully we discuss them in a a tasteful manner. I hope. Everyone's been silent.
I don't think it was a tasteful manner, but it's not a tasteful subject, so it's just one of those things. It's like, take it how you want.
It's something we had to address. You know, it's been a more serious show, which is odd because everyone's here today. So, you know, you'd think it'd be a bit more lighthearted now that everyone's here, but no. We're
all just depressed.
I mean, that's unfortunate true anyway.
But yeah, I mean, that's the show for today at least, and we'll be back next Monday with hopefully something that's less awful. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Thanks for hanging out, and thank you for joining me, everyone. You know, for actually being here.
No worries,
Hey.
And hopefully I'll see most of you next Monday. Probably not.
I'm dead next Monday, but only on that day.
You'll see me Thursday, babe, to finish off Jack and Dexter. Precursor Legacy.
That's gonna be fun. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll be back with number 8 next week. And Thursday, you'll see me and Tef finishing off that game. Good luck.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, everyone.
Peace.